At times I feel anger towards those who have implemented this plan to take down the bankers, as it should really have been done back in the 1960s. Well, they did try in the 1960s. Why do you think Kennedy was assassinated? Yeah, he was killed by the banksters. Sure, because what he had done that had caused them to terminate his life prematurely was that he had issued a presidential executive order. Now, when the president issues an executive order, nobody can debate it. Essentially, it's a dictatorial power. It just issues an edict and everybody has to obey it. It's not debated any place, in Congress or Senate or anywhere else. It's simply de facto. And he issued an edict, or what I call an edict, so it's an executive order, to issue, what in today's terms is a pretty paltry sum, but in those days, 1963, that was a lot of money. I think it was $20 billion of gold-backed dollar bills. I mean silver-backed. In other words, they were going to be redeemable at face, at par value with silver. So if you had your silver notes, dollar bills, you could take them to any Federal Reserve Bank and have them changed into silver coins, if you so wished. Well, that was too much for them. Well, and understandably from their point of view. And they took him out. They terminated him with extreme prejudice. To quote, what's that movie? Based on the Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now. At times I feel anger towards those who have implemented this plan to take down the bankers, as it should already been done back in the 60s. All they did was prolong the pain, because ultimately we must all feel the pain. Not if you follow my strategy that I've laid out on the Mobuku. You will not feel any pain, because this is what I've prepared everybody for who watches the Mobuku Chronicles. We, all of us on earth today, must endure this creative destruction event. I just wish they had prepared us all better. Well, since the CIA, which is a totally, one of the dark agenda people, control the media, you can be sure. I mean, you read the paper and you watch the news and you listen to the radio. It's all pablum, it's all a bunch of nonsense. Everything. I mean, it's like when you read the paper. If you're, you might want to read the paper. As long as, it's okay to read, as long as you realize you've got to say to yourself when you read it or you watch the TV, what do they want me to think today? That's what you got to say to yourself. Now, all these are symptoms. Now, this Chris Hedges, by the way, he has a lawsuit in progress against this National Defense Authorization Act. That was another, presidential edict, so-called executive order issued by Obama. And incidentally, as far as that election took place, what a farce. You realize that some precincts reported 150% of the vote went to Obama. Now, how can that be? 150%, that's really incredible. Man, the man must be really popular, right? It's just hilarious. I mean, the farcical of it, it's just a total farce. And I told you, if you watch the Mobuku Chronicles, your vote does not count. Does not. So, but these are symptoms, you see. The point I want to make here, it's like Jim Willie in that latest newsletter saying, blame it on this, blame it on that, and blame it. None of them were true, because all the things he blamed them on were just the symptoms of what needs to be addressed. Not the causes, like going up the gold standard. That wasn't the cause of all this. That was just one of the tools used to implement it. Right, so, and Jim Willis hasn't picked up on this yet. That's amazing. The guy is pretty sharp. There's no question. I mean, he's more than sharp. I mean, he's a bright guy. But he hasn't cottoned on yet. This is all done deliberately, as I've been telling you. All right, by the dark. Well, even the dark agenda forces don't necessarily know who is behind all this, the secret brotherhoods. Some of them may know. I mean, the secret brothers set out to do this a long time ago. At least 50, maybe 1514, somewhere around there. Actually, I think it was 1487 when you could kind of get the first glimmering of what they were up to, because I believe 1487 was when the first central bank was started. Bavaria, someplace like that. I can't remember. So, and the first things they did, among the things that were really important to their strategy, was to demonetize gold and silver. And they went after silver first, because silver is actually much more important than gold. It really is. And I'll go on record right now and say this will be the century when gold will become known as the poor man's silver. I mean, think about that. Now, so what is Big Swear says is going to happen when everybody wakes up one morning and they find that they have no money, gone, and they have no silver or gold in their possession.